Hello, beautiful people on TikTok. So, my name is Angel or Coach Angel. I am a trial attorney as well as a law school coach. I graduated from Harvard Law School in 2016. But part of my story is God told me to go to Harvard Law School. I believe in God and I believe that He's a real being and He speaks. And I believe that I prayed to get into Harvard Law School. God said, yes, you're going. But what happened is when I got there, I felt the imposter syndrome. Mind you, I had been in A plus, gifted AB, IB honors student all my life. I get into Harvard Law, feel like a fish out of water, failed my first semester at Harvard Law. So this live tonight is for pre-law students. So if you're an undergrad and you're thinking about law school, this live is also for people who have recently gotten into law school. And maybe if you're a 1L, this might help you a little bit as well. Tonight, I want to talk about how to read for law school, how we're going to read for law school. Why is this important? In every law school, I can say an ABA accredited law school, 95 to 100% of your homework is reading. That's all you're going to do. There are going to be some outlier schools who give like homework in the traditional sense, but for the most part, 95 to 100% of your homework is reading. And so reading is a critical skill for law school. You're not reading the same way that you read in undergrad, even if you were a strong reader. I was a strong reader, but you have to know how to read. So on to the topic. The number one mistake, I don't want to say the number one, but the first one I could think of is reading with distractions. If you're a strong reader or you're a leisurely reader, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up. Maythong Feck 603. Guys, let me know when you come in. Drop a 0 in the comments if you're a pre-law student, a 1 if you're a recent admit, or I want to see a 2. Thank you for the hearts. Or I want to see a 2 if you're a current law student. Hi, BO. Are you a current law student, pre-law student, recent admit? The real stack is a 1. So you're a recent admit. Welcome. So this will help you. You're reading with distractions. So if you are a strong reader, like you can read, scroll on your phone and watch TV. You can read a magazine and still comprehend it and, have music playing in the background. You can read even a leisurely novel and have a distraction and be okay. It doesn't work like that in law school. Hey, BO, recent undergrad, hoping to apply next cycle. Awesome. Where do you think you're going to apply? I'm just curious. That doesn't work in law school. You cannot read with distractions. Why? Because you are looking for specific content. You're not just reading just to read. That's the number 2 error in law school reading is mindless reading. I remember when I first got to law school, I was just reading cases and highlighting everything, not even knowing what I was looking for. Number 3, summarizing. What good is summarizing going to do in law school? You don't it's not like English where it's like, what's the main idea? And this is the details. Like that's how I was reading a case book when I first got to law school. Like the main idea of this paragraph is this. The details are that. You still need those skills. Those are the foundational skills of how to read. But in law school, that's not going to be enough. You need to know the purpose of that case that you're reading. Why is it important? What you think it might be important for, especially when you're a new 1L, by God's grace, a T14, hoping my professional experience helps. I'm sure it will. You're not. What you think is important in the case, how do you know that that's what the professor thinks is important? You need to know what that case stands for. It's not just simple main idea and detail. So that would be the number, I forget what number I am. Number 4 mistake is reading with no end goal. Your end goal in law school when you're reading is to know what that case precedent stands for and to be prepared for cold calls, okay, when you get to class the next day. So I am your Mondo. Thank you for joining. I want you to drop a 0 if you're a pre-law student, a 1 if you're a recent admit, or a 2 if you're a current law student. I'm just trying to figure out who's all here tonight. So those are the basic 5 things. If there's any questions about anything that I said, if anything was not clear, please let me know and drop it in the comments. Hi, Kimberly World DXO. Would you please drop a 0 if you're a pre-law student, 1 if you're a recent admin, or 2 if you're a current law student? I just want to know who's all here. So this is what we go over in the pre-law summer school, because trying to learn how to read once you're in law school, that's too late because the race has already started. And what I do in pre-law summer school and with my social media and everything, I teach people how to read for law school, how to write for law school, how to do law school, so that once you get there, you're on a level playing field. Because most law schools, they don't care. They're not going to level the playing field for you. So that's why it's too late to try to learn how to read for law school once you're there. That's the mistake that I read. Do different professors teach the cases differently? Yes and no. So a different professor might have, hi Elise Shadia, hi JJam05, hi Sean Will 91. Drop a 0 if you're a pre-law student, a 1 if you're a recent admit, and a 2 if you're a current law student. I just want to know who's here. Hi everybody. Hi Zina Bajola. I'm sorry, I am screwing up these names. 0. Okay, we got a pre-law student. So we got a little mix between pre-law and recent admit. Do different professors teach the cases differently? Yes and no. So it depends on what type of cold calls they use. For the most part, most professors are going to use the Socratic method. But at the end of the day, here's the thing about the law. It changes very slowly. The method that they've been teaching. Hi, Angel. I will be starting law school this fall. Awesome. So I'm so happy you're here. I want to go to HLS. I was lucky enough to get into Harvard NYU trials program. That's awesome. You know what? I think I applied for trials and I didn't get into it, but that's a good program. I definitely recommend that program. The law takes a long time to change. They have been teaching law school the same way for years. So that's the mistake I made in my thinking, like, oh my God, once I get there, or this professor is going to have a wacky way to teach this particular case. Listen, in law school, you're learning what's called case precedent. What you learn, the case precedent, like that. So that case precedent means this is the law of the land. This is how, this is the legal rule. This is how courts are going to follow. Courts are going to rule this way. This is the law of the land. Certain laws of the land, they don't change. Literally, like case precedent. I can say an infamous case, for instance, Brown v. Board of Education. So there's seminal cases like that, right? So that was the school desegregation case. They're going to always teach that in law school. Miranda v. Arizona, that's a criminal law case where the police have to read your Miranda rights if you're arrested and they're questioning you and you're in custody. That's not going to change. What that case stands for is not going to change. So even if the professor teaches it differently, you still need to read it the same way. You still need to know how to extract the legal rules. And that's why I teach you how to do those things in pre-law summer school. Pearson v. Post. Ask any law student what that case is. They will tell you that's a property case from like the freaking early, it's a long time ago, like hundreds of years ago. Pearson v. Post. Who owns the fox? So they're teaching cases that are hundreds of years old. So even if the professor teaches it differently, there's certain case precedent that is always going to be taught. Are there any more questions? Just for the people who are here, there's only 48 hours left to register for the pre-law summer school. I go into more depth with my students about how to read for law school. That's helpful. You are so welcome. Any further questions? 2 more days left for the pre-law summer school. Well, you can register. 2 days left for the early bird rate, which is $500 discount. Because I'm telling you, once you get to law school, get everything you can get now in terms of learning how to read, write, and study for law school. Because once you get there, it's too late because it's a race. It's competitive. Not competitive in the sense that people are like cutthroat being mean, but it is what it is. Most law schools grade on the curve and you want to be in a good position to compete with your peers. Not me, where I failed the first semester and I spent the subsequent semester trying to catch up from that last semester and trying to study for my second semester. Do different law schools use different textbooks? Yes. So the textbook in law school is called a case book. But again, most of the case books have the same cases because case precedent. So case precedent is an old case that stands for a certain legal rule that is just not changing or is not going to change soon, or sets the rule, sets the standard for a certain area of law. Certain cases, they don't change, right? So Pearson v. Post, as any law school student, they will tell you that they read that case in their property class, irrespective of what brand or what company the professor uses. You're going to read Pearson v. Post. You're going to read Miranda v. Arizona in criminal law. Those are just some of those seminal cases. You're going to read Brown v. Board of Education in constitutional law. Hi, Unc Sammy. I remind you of Queen Latifah. I'll take that. Maybe it's the red hair. I'll take that. Guys, do me a favor. Drop a 0 if you're a pre-law student, a 1 if you're a recent admit, or 2 if you're a current law student. So far, it's a tie between the 0s and the 1s, the pre-laws and the recent admits. So I'm just curious who's here tonight. Any more questions? I've answered 2. I want to stay on until I answer 3. There's 48 hours left, 2 days left to get the early bird rate for pre-law summer school. It's a law school prep program because once you get to law school, you don't want to be playing catch up. What school supplies would you suggest? I don't want to overbuy. Honestly, I wouldn't treat law school. That's a good question. I wouldn't treat law school like elementary school where you're buying all this stuff. You need to get a blue book. It's called, I don't have mine here. It's upstairs, but it's literally called the blue book. Actually, it depends on what law school you go to, if they're use the blue book or the, there's another one. Anyway, it's ask your law school. I want you to email your law school now and ask them what formatting style do they adhere to? Do they use the blue book? Or I think the University of Chicago has one as well. But it's literally, remember in undergrad how there was like MLA or APA formatting as far as your citations? That's what the blue book is for law school. It's how you format citations. So you want to buy one of those. You're going to carry that all through law school. Even as a lawyer, I still have my blue book from law school. So a blue book, some highlighters, some pens, and some notepads, and your laptop. I really don't, law school is not that involved as far as supplies. Bro thinks she's Beyonce. I don't think I'm Beyonce. I think I've answered my 3 questions. Are there any further questions before I log off? How can I sign up for the pre-law summer school? You can click the link in my bio to sign up. Early bird, there's only 2 days left, and it's a $500 discount. And the purpose of pre-law summer school is to get you on that level playing field, give you some confidence for when you start law school, actually to give it levels the playing field for you, but it puts you ahead. It gives you a head start so that you can get the grades that you need to get, so that you can get the job that you want. You are so welcome, JJMO5. You are so welcome, BO. Hi, Perfectly Naya. Hi, it's Mr. Renji. Drop a 0 if you're a pre-law student. Drop a 1 if you are a recent admit, or a 3 if you're a current law student. Hi, Norikhan. You're so welcome. All right, guys, I think that's all. 2 days left, early bird rate, link in my bio for the pre-law summer school. It's a law school prep program. Good night. I will be back live on TikTok on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And we're going to talk about how to study for law school, Oh, we have one current law student, Perfectly Nyla. I think you were the only current law student on tonight. Well, maybe you should come on Thursday because that's when I'm going to talk about how to study for law school. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for joining.